Howdy. Welcome back, campers. Um, Going to go inside the player's mind again, just as I had said in the explanation section. Tonight we're going to talk about creating a high performance mindset in your athletes, but this can easily just as well be from the perspective, pardon me, from the perspective of the coach or assistant coaches or whoever. And this is one of those places where I've talked about before, where athletics, particularly team sports, intersect with life. Quite a bit does. Quite often it does. Um, so I boil it down to four you know tenets, I guess. One, and I think it gets overlooked quite a bit, is that a calm mind is a calm body. And why is that important? I would put it to you that tension is the absolute enemy of performance. And that's because the more tense your mind is, the more tense your muscles will be. And the harder it will be to create repeatable mechanics that you need to do. Let's say you're playing basketball, you're doing a jump shot. Well, if you're really tense, you're gonna pull them short, or you're gonna start flipping the ball up there harder. Whatever it is that you need to do. And what that really does is it gets you out of the rhythm. You're not feeling the game anymore. You're overthinking it, because you're thinking, I gotta adjust, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. No, you need to just play. You've already done the preparation. You just need to play. So you need to have a calm mindset. So when you're dealing with players that are high strung, you really got to do some things to affirmatively teach them on an everyday basis how to calm themselves. Does that mean having to do yoga? With some kids, maybe, and some people, and then maybe not. But it's things that will calm the body, come from a calm mind. That's number one. Number two, preparation. Obviously, us coaches, we do game plans. We always create game plans, and it just depends. Like, for example, I coach special needs players. So I'm not coaching the NBA. I'm not coaching major college basketball. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my plans with my players in mind. So I'm going to look at where their strengths, where their weaknesses are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I want binary reads wherever possible. And what do I mean by that? A binary read is where I put them in decisions that are easy to understand. It's an A versus a B. It's a B versus a C. It's a 1 versus a 2. Where they don't run into a decision where they've got 3 or 4 possibilities. They're looking at 1 or 2. An NFL quarterback is typically got 6, 7, 8 reads he's making. And that takes a unique amount of processing speed and capability. But for the average athlete, particularly if they have special needs, 1 or 2 things, a binary is about all they can handle, and be able to succeed at it. So then once you have your game plan, you're going to practice it relentlessly. And I go to the old Cal Ripken Sr. thing with the Orioles. I'm an Orioles fan. And his saying, and my kids in basketball, they'll know this from layup drills. I tell them they got to put it in the square. I don't care if they make it; they got to rerun it. You can make the layup, but if you didn't put it in the square like I told you to, you're going to rerun it. Because as Cal Ripken Sr. had said, perfect practice makes perfect. Because the rhythm of constantly feeling the success, what that felt like, being able to feel the rhythm of what you needed to do, and to not freestyle so much, but to just keep the simple things simple, and keep the easy things easy. And there's a great degree of that's very, very true. Then when you get to game day, keeping it really simple and just bullet point what we did in practice, just to remind them what we're doing, and then just getting them really to be able to feel the game and just go out and have fun. but you're really drilling it in practice to where they feel it. And they have to understand it, and they have to feel it, and they have to have it well practiced. Once they've done that, they're in great shape. And then the focus has to be keeping it loose and simple. The third part I would look at is vision. And from a player's perspective, there's two kinds of vision from where I look at. You're looking at that peripheral vision or that full field vision versus a focused vision. And they need to practice both and win each one is appropriate. I mean, let's say you're a point guard in basketball and you're coming up the court. You need to be able to see all 9 of the people on that court that are with you. Referee, I guess, also, but the players, not all 9 players. And then when you're moving in, you don't want to focus on who you're going to be throwing it to. You don't want to be focused on the basket. You don't want to be focused on, you want to keep everything equidistantly possible. A dribble, a pass, a shot, who you're going to throw it to. Keep them guessing. Because you got them where you want them. If you let them know where you're throwing it to, you've given up the ghost. So now you've evened the playing field for them. Otherwise, it's your game to lose on offense because you know where you're going. They don't. So the idea is practicing that full field vision versus that focused vision. And what it also does is allows some degree of anticipation, particularly on defense, but offense without the ball too. You're going to notice tendencies in your opposite number throughout a game, and you're going to be able to see those things. You're going to be able to read, in quotes, you're going to be able to read the bodies of the that are opposing you. You're going to read the hips. You're going to read the eyes. You're going to read, you're going to know, hey, this guy tends to reach. This guy's on his back foot. He's on his heels. This guy's overly aggressive. I could probably put a move on him to easily get him to foul me. Put him in the cradle a little bit, back and through, back and forward. So if I can sucker him in. If I take a back step, I can sucker him in and then create contact. There's lots of little games within the game, and vision allows you to do that because you're watching. You're not dribbling the ball and staring at the ball. You're watching what's going on the court. You're people watching. Okay, and that's a pretty good thing to have. And high achievers have those things, and they can see angles and they can see all the things that are going on within the game within the game, as I said. Fourth, and this is the thing that really proof in the pudding right here, is they have radical self-belief. They're not just like, oh, I'm kind of confident. They're radically, they believe in themselves. Now, where does that come from? Number one, they have lost the fear of failure in a good way. When you start to embrace failure as a part of the process towards achievement, and you realize that to achieve you must embrace the times you fall down as learning opportunities. And when you do that, and you realize the inevitability of you getting the hardware, the inevitability that you're going to stand over the others, the inevitability that you're going to achieve your goals, it's inevitable. A lot of people don't have that, and high achievers always do. The high performers always do. And how do you get this? Number one, you have to have it drilled into you. You have to have positive mindsets around you, but you also have to have progressively larger and larger victories. They start small, they get bigger, they get bigger, they get bigger. You stack them on top of each other, and you build that self-esteem, you build that level of confidence by achieving. So you achieve the small things. I saw a speech, I guess it was General McChrystal gave a little while ago. And he was talking about, in SEAL training, you have to make your bed in the morning so that you've achieved something already. You're already in an achievement mindset. That really resonated with me. That was just something so simple, because then it progressively gets bigger and bigger and bigger throughout the day. That's a fantastic thing. So then the other thing I would say towards closing is that when you have radical self-belief, you expect to win. You know you can be defeated, but you expect to win. You know if you give your best game, and only someone else's best game can beat you. You can lose on luck. You can lose because somebody's better than you, but you're never going to let somebody beat you when you beat you, right? And you're going to learn from what you did wrong if you do lose. But again, that's just part of the process. And so what you do is you don't let those setbacks define you. You let those setbacks fortify you. And then you will end up having a championship mindset. So these are all principles that I try to use. I think they work really well in life in general. And they really work well, particularly for the athletes at the level where most of us coach. I mean, you get to the NFL, you probably don't need to hear this stuff. You probably already, you're the best of the best. You're in the NBA, you're in the NHL, whatever it is. You've got this or you wouldn't be there. But for the home gamers, the amateur athletes across the country, this is big. So, hope this helps. Again, just always wanting conversation. Need more of it. I'm sure there's some things that can be picked apart or added to. I like the added to part. So like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me I'm a punk. Whatever you like to do. But conversation is a good thing. That's how we add instead of subtracting. It's how we multiply instead of divide. That's particularly these days. That's so critical. So hope everybody's doing well. I will be back during the weekend here with some NFL. I'll probably do 2 or 3 of those, and I'm preparing for them already. And I hope you enjoy those as well. But I hope this was helpful. Peace out, me homies. Thank you very much for stopping by, and I'll see you again soon.